Good morning. It is August the 31st and my hair has attitude. Can you see that? It's been brushed. I've wet it and brushed it down, and still it's saying good morning. That horn goes everywhere I go. It's crazy. This is the shawl, you know, that I had started making, and I was kind of writing the pattern down. I like this section here, but you got to do a lot of fudging. And then I didn't like the way that it was looking, and so I've just been playing, and I'm just got maybe 4 or 5 rows to go, and then I'm just going to finish it off. Didn't really care for it, but gonna finish it off. Somebody will love it. I don't know who. What I have been doing, I have a card over here to my right, and what I have been doing over here is culling some of the yarn that is in there that I know I won't use in the next month or so, and putting my set aside projects on my cart so I always have, so I know where they're at and they're ready to go. However, I have so many whips to the left and to the right of me that I really need to work on them to get them done. Need to get the crochet along and the knit along that I had started finished before all this corona stuff started and I became a mask maker, which that's getting old too at times. Although I have to make some masks for my husband this week. He has about 7 or 8 masks, and you know, he's a man. He doesn't know that he can hand wash them when he comes in and put them outside on that little line we have so they could dry. He doesn't know that. He's a man. So he comes in, pops it in the little, I have a big, I think it's 3 or 4 quart Rubbermaid tub thing with a lid that generally when I have quite a few of the masks, I will put them in there with the antibiotic soap, and we'll wash them real good and shake them up and let them sit for a little bit, and then wash them off and rinse them real well and then hang them out to dry. But he doesn't understand, if he uses one mask, he can actually put a little soap on there and hand wash it, you know, but since he's a man, he doesn't understand that. And I've said to him, don't you know how to hand wash anything? It's like washing the dishes, honey. Both sides. Rinse them real well. Dry them. You know, simple. So I like to tease him for being someone that is so well educated. There we go. It'll be up before the end of the day. Trust me. For someone who is so well educated, at times he can drive me nuts. You know? I'm always teasing him. You're not an idiot savant. It's not like our cat Kodiak, who could figure out how to untie the shaky mouse from the file cabinet to get it off of there. You know, because our cat Kodiak, when he was alive, he was pretty much an idiot. He was goofy. He would lay on top of a 4-drawer file cabinet sleeping, and then he'd roll off, and then he'd be sitting there on the floor looking like, well, who pushed me? You know, this cat was goofy. This is our cat we also called our Super Kitty, because he was known for looking into bags, like if you had emptied out a bag and tossed it in the hallway, you know, to pick up to take it downstairs on the way downstairs. He was known for looking into the the bag, and getting his head stuck in the handles. And then he'd take off running around all the house, and we're trying to catch him, and he's scared because the bag is behind him making noises. The cat would even run up the stairs. The apartment that we were in, there was one room that had a loft. It was a loft bedroom. My husband had his little office set down under the loft, but the cat would run up the stairs up into the loft part of the bedroom, and you'd have to try to corral him to get the bag off of him. So we nicknamed him Super Kitty, because he was such a silly goose at times. Silly, silly. This weekend I sat down and I did some of my administrative paperwork, and I realized I had waited a really long time before doing it. Normally I do it at the end of each month. I hadn't done it since May. So it was a lot of work. Excuse me. It was a lot of work. I got lost. Because of, this days with COVID and ordering fabric, I had about 6 sheets of fabrics that I didn't think they'd come in, but I wasn't sure because there was, in the margin was written, that it should be here by. Well, there were 5 that still haven't come. 1 that I double checked and it hasn't come in yet, so it hadn't been shipped. So I thought I was losing my mind. I had this fear that I had put them away somewhere upstairs in the sewing room and that they just weren't there. But I went and double checked and never received shipment on any of them. So if you have administrative paperwork to do, don't wait so long to do it. I don't know why I decided to wait so long to do it, other than I was busy making masks, and that's a lot of work to do in one day. So that's what I wound up doing yesterday, along with cutting a couple of masks, getting a couple of masks made. So it was very interesting. And my husband, some of the fabrics he picked out, I'm like, really? You're going to wear those to school? Really? One of them is basically it's kind of a navy colored fabric, navy to blackish looking, with some gold little scallops, so it looks like what he calls dragon skin. So, I have no problem with that. Although I know that I'm not going to be able to line up the scallops. That part is so hard at times. Then he has some, like Harry Potter and pirates. I said, are you sure you don't want me to make one with the mermaids? Just because. And these are the ones he wants the boning in. So, I have to go in and modify the patterns for him because the Olsen mask that I make for him is not large enough for him. He is 6'4", 220 pounds, I think. So he has a bit of a beard, mustache going on. So I have to enlarge the Olsen mask for him. So now I have to go adjust that a little bit more to actually put in the boning. So it should be interesting how that comes out. Because, like I said, the Olsen mask does not work for large men like him. For men who have beards, it's too tight, and it just looks like he's got like this little muzzle on him. So I have enlarged it for him, And he said, you know, you really should put some of those up in the shop. And I'm like, honey, I want to do bags. Don't want to do masks. He goes, yeah, but there are other men that would like those larger masks. Okay, fine. You know, we get into this because I would like for the mask season to be completely done with. You know, I would like for us not to have to wear a mask. And speaking of masks, I keep seeing people who talk about that, you know, it changes your blood your blood oxygenation saturation rate when you're wearing it. No, it doesn't. Good grief, people, think about it. You have people that wear masks every day, day in, all day, while they're working. Surgeons, surgical nurses, nurses who are working with infectious disease. Perfectly healthy people, we don't have issues with wearing masks like that. And we wear masks that you guys, that everyday people don't wear. You know, if you were wearing N95s all day long, I might believe that. Because N95s are very difficult to breathe in. They're very hard to breathe in. And they're hot. Extremely hot. So, I could see if you were in that boat, but most people aren't. So no, it doesn't change your oxygen saturation rate. The only people that it affects generally are people who have COPD and have oxygen, and certain cardiac patients shouldn't wear masks. Other than that, some people who have asthma, they really should wear a mask because they benefit from them. Because they don't get the dust particles to, you know, start an asthma attack. But then again, there are some who are extremely asthmatic who probably shouldn't wear masks because they can work themselves into an asthmatic attack. And those are usually people who also have a bit of claustrophobia. You can understand that. There are people with sensory things that can't handle things against their face. You know, like a lot of people who have autism. But they can be trained to learn to wear a mask without issues. But no, it does not change your O2 saturation at all. There is a video out there of a surgeon who is actually placing 7 masks on, wearing them. And his O2 sats never dropped below 99%. Like I said, when I was in the emergency room, the entire time I was wearing a mask, the entire time my O2 saturation was at 98%. And yes, they also did a blood gas. So, I know it never dropped. I saw the results. So, no, doesn't affect that. And you'll find many doctors will not give you a note exempting you from wearing a face mask. And there's a reason. It does help curve that curve. It really does. There are studies out there that show it has and does. Plenty of studies out there that show it has and does. So, you know, a lot of people, like I said, wear dust masks all the time when they're mowing. But I will tell you, if you're in the car alone, or if you're in the car with family, you don't need to wear your mask while you're driving. That's stupid. Silly. And it's also silly to have to wear a mask in your house when you're by yourself with your family. Unless you really are sick. Okay? And usually if you're doing that to keep other people from getting it. whatever it is you have. So as always, people, I'm going to end it there. I've rattled on enough. It's the last day of Vlogust. Everybody have a great day. Be well, be safe, and be kind.